Uh, Once again, good morning to all of you. So now we are moving ahead with our next topic of our GAN course on chalcogenide-based phase change memory for non-volatile data storage. So you can see the title of this talk is phase change memory as a programmable synapse. So here in this talk, if you see the previous talk which I have given on that, I have discussed more about the multi-bit level storage and some device level fabrication about the device, how the electrical switching and all, which we can do that. So in connection with that, here just I will brief you about the application part of neuromorphic computing and how we can use as a phase change memory device basically for synapses application, and what is the important need actually. So I'm not going to discuss much about the application part like in artificial intelligence and this neural network and all. This is more relevant with your algorithm part, designing aspect. But here, how we can use the device actually, the device which we are fabricating. As Andrew already spoken much about the phase change material. So you know about the property of material, and then further we can fabricate it, and then the characteristic which we can get through our electrical characterization, and you can say that conductance change and all. So how you can refer for neuromorphic computing, and we can use as a synapses. So if you see the motivation of this talk, which is very important, what is the need? How this neuromorphic term or synapse term came into the picture? This is very important and very hot topic in if you see in the phase change memory domain or in the upcoming computational system. So if you see here this hierarchy, so most of the algorithm related to AI runs on conventional computing system. Conventional computing system is what? If you see here, it's a kind of a central processing unit, graphical processing unit, and some kind of a field FPGA based things, field programmable gate array. So here you can see that. But what happens if you go in this line? So there is a barrier. There is a barrier. It is going to stop at some particular point of time. So this is one of the important crucial aspect, because Moore laws is coming into the almost in the saturation level. Okay, memory wall, heat wall. There is a problem. Okay, due to that we cannot go ahead with existing system related with CPU, GPU, FPGA, all those things. So in that regard, there are some things which is coming into the picture by which we can do better performance, cognitive based things, big data analysis, and this IoT based things. So for that we should have a better analog devices, mapping novel algorithms, optimization of circuit and architecture. So these are the things which is essentially required for upcoming computing system, which is very essentially it is required. Because if you want to do some kind of AI based any designing, so that neural network and all, I'm not working on that area, but if you want to design on those aspects, so you need a better performance devices. You cannot ally simply on your processor which you are currently using in your laptop and system, because they have some kind of a limitation. They should not go further beyond as per our requirement. And further, if you see here this things where it is showing that how we are using the each system currently. So if you talk about this CPU, so this is basically for advanced analytics, for kind of SQL and some advanced analytics kind of things which we are using. And then further, if we talk about this machine learning, deep learning, and cognitive AI based things. So these are essentially, it is very essentially, it is required a high performance memory devices, high performance computing system by which you can generate all those things. So this creates, if we talk about, there is also a significant recent interest in application specific integrated circuits. In all these computing systems, the memory and processing units are physically separated. So I will discuss about more on this, and hence a significant amount of data need to be settled back here and there. So this creates a performance bottleneck. Okay, We don't waste our time. First storage, and then you are going somewhere for computation, again you are coming back, and then, so it takes a time. It really takes a time. Memory. But have you ever thought of, you are already having a memory which is doing something different, which is not doing your computer? What is that memory? Tell me. You have. Everybody is having that memory which is solving this problem. This create a performance bottleneck. Performance bottleneck means what? You are having a storage. This is, as you can see here, this is a performance gap, physically separated, and hence the significant amount of data need to be settled back here and there. Okay, so this problem we can solve, we can see. So you all have those memory. What is that memory? Okay, cache memory. Anyone else? You have. Just think simply. Yeah, brain. Your brain. Everybody is having that brain. Have you ever thought about what your brain is doing? You are thinking, you are storing, you are processing. Everything is in your brain. Okay, so this is one of the best example. Each and everybody is carrying that. You can solve this problem which is currently in your laptop, computer, whatever thing. Okay, but we need essentially a very high performance computing system which can perform these issues. Okay, so brain is, that. So we'll see about human brain. What is human brain actually? It is very beautiful thing. It's biologically, if you see, which we are carrying. So if you compare with the high performance processors which we are using currently, the Intel supercomputer, whatever processors which you are using in your high performance system. So if you compare these things, all are one side and our brain is one side in terms of power consumption. So if you talk about, our human brain is amazingly energy efficient device. It not requires much power. If you're installing any supercomputer, any you are going and you are taking 4th generation, 5th generation processor, all those processor, it requires a power, huge amount of power. But our human brain is storing and processing in very small size and power. So if you see, in computing terms, it can perform the equivalent of exaflop. What is exaflop? Exaflop is a billion, means 1 followed by 18 zeros. Okay, 18 zero. Mathematical operation per second with just 20 watt of power. Only just 20 watt power our brain will require to process this information. You can say 1 exaflop. Oh, it's a billion, 2 times billion, I can say. Okay, but if we talk about powerful supercomputer, so it needs more than 20 megawatt of power. So now you can imagine. So supercomputer, which is having a possibility of doing all those information, so it is doing in the same performance in the 20 megawatts. So there is a difference. Which we are carrying with our things. So this is giving us a motivation. We can reduce this thing. We can optimize if we are able to design a device in that direction. So you can see this is our human brain, and it consists multiple nucleus and neurons and everything. These things are interconnected each other, and then the information can pass from one side to another side. So our objective is that, can we design a memory device or memory component which can mimic as a human brain? Okay, human brain means where we can simultaneously store our information, and at the same time we can compute for upcoming applications. Okay, so these are our motivation. So if you see the close view of this biological synapse, so this is kind of our human brain, and if you closely see these things inside, so it is nothing but it's a kind of this neurons, nucleus, and everything. All information can be gathered here. So this is you have to just correlate these things or some kind of biological terminology. So it is not like that just we are physicists, we are engineers, so we will not do. We should understand about these aspects also, how our brain is working. Then you can correlate with your electronic synapse. So first of all, very important thing is that neuron. What is neuron? So neuron it's a specialized cell that transmit electrical and chemical signal throughout the nervous system. Okay, so this is our neuron which can transmit the signal. So here we can see it's a kind of a neuron. And then dendrites, they receive signals. So here you can see somewhere this kind of hanging parts. This is dendrites. Okay, so these they receive signal from other neurons and transmit them forward to the cell body. Okay, so this kind of neuron, it is connected to other neuron with dendrites. As you can see here, it is a bunch of in your mind you can see. So it is connected with one neuron with another one. So it is kind of a dendrite by which it could be connected, and then it is transmit the signal from one way to another way. And if you see this one axon hillock, so the cone shaped region where the axon connects to the cell body. So actually if one neuron it is connected to the cell body, so this is the way by which it is connected with our body to provide the signals and all. And then nucleus, so nucleus, it is one of the important part of this neuron at the center of this. So located within the cell body of the neuron, it is the main functional. It's a kind of processing the things and then transmitting it. So it is processing the information. And then this myelin sheath, it's a fatty insulating layer that wraps around the axon. It is speed up the transmission of electrical signal along the axon. So if you want to communicate this signal to another neuron, so it's a kind of a sheath by which it could be transmit the signal from speed up, provide the speed up from one side to another side. And then neural signal, so the electrochemical message transmitted by neurons, so it's a kind of a neural signal which is getting to transmit in terms of information. And similarly, the synapse, which is our important part. So synapse is what? The connectivity between this here, as you can see, this is the dendrite part. So it is connected with another neuron and it is transmitting the information. So this is our important part which we try to mimic as a memory component, so that we can identify some kind of a neuromorphic device. So this is overall about biological synapse, so that you can correlate any electronic synapse. So if you see this aspect, so we can identify or we can take some inspiration of this of the brain. I mean, what kind of inspiration we can take with this the brain? Because as we have seen, the functionality of brain is something different. So as I already discussed with you, so computer which is based on von Neumann architecture. So technically, if anybody is asking to us, so we should say that currently we have a von Neumann architecture where we have memory and processing both are separated, data going here and there. This is the memory and processing, data going here and there. And if you compare the operation and energy consumption, so it is some kind of higher as compared to this brain, and it is reported in this work. You can see this. So, and this is our brain. It's a kind of a memory and processing are intervened. So this is the actual goal to identify, because here you can see it is both are separated, but in our brain this memory where the storage, okay, and the processing which is done by neuron, both are intervened. Okay, it's already in a one place, we can say. So that is the goal to identify. So this we should take inspiration from our brain. Why during starting of my lecture, I was telling each and everybody is carrying this one. So you should take inspiration if you people are thinking about to design a memory, highly energy efficient memory device for upcoming kind of a computational system. So each and everyone is having a brain, but you should think how our brain is working and how we can store the data. So memory and computing should be close. This is the fundamental information. So your memory and your computing, it should be very close. It should not be far away. So this is important aspect. So in memory computing, it is a very important aspect for this neuromorphic computing or synapse of phase change memory based synapse. So where this memory and processing unit, it could be done in the same place. So if we can see here, if you have any function where you have we could see in the general processing system where you can see there is a processing unit. so which could process with some kind of control unit, cache, and ALU, and then it is going back to this some kind of a memory where the data is stored. It's a bank of storage, huge storage where you can do that. So it is having a control on that, and here you can see that it is going to store here, and when you want to execute, so you can take back to here in your cache, and you are executing by the help of control unit. It's a basic, possibly in your processor. When we are reading about the basics of microprocessor, then we are trying to identify this thing. So here you can see that the data are going into this cache memory, and by the help of ALU we are executing, and then again we are coming back to the storage. So, and it has a control on that. So you can see that this fetch and store, this is a bottleneck. This is the important bottleneck in case of our von Neumann architecture. So the idea is that if we are able to make this ALU in this our memory, this memory, you can see this one, where this is known as a non-von Neumann architecture, non-von Neumann architecture. So this ALU, it's this ALU, if we are able to store in this bank of our you can storage. So this conventional memory and computational memory in the same block, as you can see here, this memory in the same place. Okay, so this could be identify where this function of FA can performed in memory which is stored data A. Okay, where the same, this is the processing unit. This function of A, it is the function of A, it is the processing unit. So it can be performed itself a memory where you are going to store the data. So the same way our brain is working in that direction. So this is the fundamental aspect of designing any non-von Neumann architecture, or the system where the memory and your computational are very, very close. So this is the way. So this, what ultimately we will get here, we will save our energy, we will save our time also. Okay, we will save our time. As you can see that we are not going somewhere, everything is in our mind, we are storing at the same place, we are executing every same place. So this is the idea behind that. So especially in pattern recognition, real-time recognition, and intuitive function, we can use this. We can use this. This is very, very fundamentally important thing where some real-time applications are required. Okay, very fast. You need some kind of. Let's talk about some decision-making algorithm if you want. So whether you need any delay, no, very fast information should be required. So such system can perform those applications. So this is the advanced application of memory devices, specifically if you are we talk about phase change memory. So it is having a potential. So this is overall things about in-memory computing. So further, how we can see the bio-inspired electronic PCM synapse. So after understanding the concept of this bio-inspired synapse, now we should understand how we can use this our PCM device as a PCM synapse, okay, or in electronic memory applications. So you can see this this pictorial view graph you have seen earlier, which is looks like your biological synapse. Okay, biological this synapse with respect to everything. Here we can see this is, it's a kind of a synapse. It is connected this with another neuron, this one. So it is the place from where the information is getting transmit from one neuron to another neuron. Understood? So this is the place. This is called as synapse. Synapse is the place where these two neurons are interacting. Okay, it is transmitting the information. Just they are interacting. So if somehow we were able to make this thing is very fast, very energy efficient or something, it can interact very fast. So we can design this bio-inspired electronic synapse. This is not biological, it is electronically. You are fabricating something, you are designing some electronic component, and then you are telling that, okay, yes, it could be identified as that. So here, as we can see, this is synapse, and if you see this part, so this can be if we talk about electronically, so your phase change device can be used as a synapse. Okay, so how this thing can be done? So because in my previous lecture, I have shown you when you are providing a suitable electrical pulses or even optical also. So the material is changing their state and you can easily control. Understood? You can easily control their state. And when you are able to control those states, so you can easily transmit the information. You can tune each bit is each conductance level is carrying some kind of information. Okay, and based on that, you can convey your information from one place to another place. So the behavior of this PCM device is look like this, as you can see. The moment you are providing a systematic increment in the pulse, so you can see here the resistance is getting increased. Resistance is, it means the way it can be seen here the variable resistance, and it could be tuned at multi resistance levels, as you can see here this one. So if you have a suitable control, you can tune. And similarly, the moment you are providing a kind of a different pulse or set pulse, we can say, so the resistance level is getting decreased, so it is again going to set back. So this is the thing where we can see that it is gradual change in resistance can be identified on this PCM device. We have seen earlier also, our PCM device, it is showing a gradual change in the resistance. When I was talking about my first lecture, so I have discussed how with respect to current control mechanism, and with the help of electrical pulses, how we can tune our resistance into different or partial reset or partial set process. So this is the way by which we can tune. We can tune this and we can get our particular information. So there is a terminology for this increasing in resistance and decreasing in resistance, some kind of a potentiation and depression. So we will see about those things also. So this is the way by which you can mimic your biological synapse as an electronic synapse. Okay, so interconnection scheme of PCM synapse to reach ultra high density and compactness of brain. So this is the important aspect of PCM synapse. It is provide us the beauty of compactness of brain. And in the crossbar array architecture, PCM synapse lie between post-spike and pre-spike electrodes inspired by biological synapse formed between pre-synaptic and post-synaptic neuron. So the thing is that here it's a kind of a crossbar array, and you are simultaneously reaching out at particular array because it is not a single element. Okay, where you want to go and you want to save the information, you can. It's a kind of a memory where you have a word line, bit line, and you can directly hit and you can directly identify the information. So it's a kind of array where you can provide a pre-spike and kind of a post-spike pulses, and you can get this. Is it clear to all of you? So this is the overall idea about this one, where we can see that, and the cross section of depressed or you can say mushroom shaped amorphous region shown in the red, as you can see here. So this is depressed synapse and this is normal one. Normal. Depressed means here you have given a pulse, and so this region is got amorphized. You can see here, you cannot see any red region. This is only red. It means this is the only pulse which you have depressed. Depressed means you have given an electronic pulse and you have changed their conductive state. Is it clear? So this is the way by which we can identify our electronic synapse. So now again this fundamental of PCM device that which we have seen earlier about this. So this is the amorphous and crystalline disorder, high resistive and ordered low resistive region. So by providing appropriate electrical pulses from low resistance to high resistive amorphous region, so you need to provide a reset pulse which is comparatively higher magnitude compared to set pulse, as you can see. So from here you can reach out into this region. So the particular volume, this volume got amorphized. Okay, and then if you want to again coming back to the same this position, so what you can do, you can provide set pulse, this set pulse which is having a relatively lower current value, as you can see, but having a longer pulse duration. Okay, so that you can again come back to this position. And the cross section of this PCM cell as you can see here, this is the cross section image of this high resolution image, where you can see that this top electrode, and this is the crystalline region, and this is the amorphous region, and with this bottom electrode along with this heater, it could be identified this particular region is getting amorphized. Okay, so this probably you have seen already. Andre is also discussed about this, how this different structure of this PCM and this amorphous region is getting formed there. So this you can see, this mushroom kind of structure, it is formed here. So you need to control this region. Okay, if this region is small, so it is having a different resistivity. If it is volume is more, so different resistivity. So resistance, the way volume is this region is getting increased, so resistance value or conductance value of your memory, it is getting changed, and you can tune appropriately. So this is the way by which our PCM device works, and this we can use as a for synapse application. So phase change memory is one of the mature non-volatile memory device that we can say that it is having a potential, and typically using germanium, antimony, telluride, chalcogenide compounds to program as a memory. And this certain material exhibit drastically different electrical characteristic depending on their atomic arrangement. Okay, so the thing is that it means you can tune based on your different levels, so that based on the atomic arrangement. So if we talk about the key property for neuromorphic computing for this device, so you can see here, achieve not just two level but a continuous of resistance or conductance level, as you can see this one. So it is not like that simply just two levels you are getting. Two levels means what happened? Amorphous crystalline, two levels. Okay, how many bit? Two levels. How many bit? Two levels. How many bit? One bit, single bit. But if it is single bit, then you cannot perform neuromorphic computing. For neuromorphic computing, your device should show multi-resistance state. Okay, your device, you should tune multiple resistance state. So this phase change, and in the previous talk I have discussed how you can tune. So this phase change having a property where you can tune your device into different resistive state, as you can see. So initially there is no volume, it is almost crystalline in this, and here it is partial amorphized, and it is fully amorphized. So in between you can see this is the gradual change. Okay, and you can provide electrical pulses, potentiation, you can depress also, and you can tune at particular information, and you can get. So it is not just two levels, but continuous level is required, and yes, PCM is showing that property. So by increasing this amplitude, we can go further, and we can tune at particular level to identify a multi-resistance state. Similarly, if you are coming back to again in this direction, so again you need to have a proper understanding of programming scheme to know about the this neuromorphic computing property. So in this case, accumulative behavior to achieve a linear increase in conductance as a function of set pulse. So linear increase in conductance means decrease in resistance. So conductance and resistance, there is a relation. So now in general, when we talk about neuromorphic computing, so we use term as a conductance. So you can easily calculate your synaptic weight, and the algorithms are already reported with that. So you can identify synaptic weight in that direction. So that's why when we talk about neuromorphic computing, so just you convert this resistance into your conductance level, and then you can identify. So for all memory technology, it works. You can see that in resistive memory also, memristor based, and some ferroelectric. They are talking about the conductance, weight of conductance, and then they are identifying. So when we talk about here, so here what they are doing, their number of pulse they are providing, and when you are providing this number of pulse, and it is kind of set pulse. So you can see here, device, the resistance is getting decreased from high resistance to low resistance state. this, and this is high resistance and this is low resistance state. So the way we are increasing the pulse, so in between the crystal is getting formed. As you can see, this one here, it is fully red structure. As you can see, this is dome shape, and the moment you are getting down, so here this blue color atoms are coming into the picture. So what happens? So the material is getting crystallized. Okay, the way you are providing the pulse, so based on that, the material is getting crystallized, and then you can optimize this. Okay, so this is the key property of neuromorphic computing, and it is essentially very important. You should understand the proper concept and the proper understanding about your programming aspect. If you are able to fabricate any device, very good. You first you optimize the material, and then you fabricate device. After fabrication of device, then you need, in case of neuromorphic computing, optimization of programming. Programming means what? How you can provide the electrical pulse, how you can get the conductance change, everything. It is very important. So this is the way by which you can easily optimize your conductance of memory device, and you can tune at particular level. So if we talk about more deeper inside about this neuromorphic computing, so this spike time dependent plasticity, it is very important in terms of to identify the goal of neuromorphic computing in case of PCM device. So what happens here, reported in this particular work, they have tested time dependent weight change. Right? It means for what time you have you are providing the electrical pulses based on the time duration, and then they have tested the change in synaptic weight, and then they were correlating with biological reported by and Poo based method, and they were trying to identify, yes, PCM device is almost mimic. It's showing the same property of conductance change. So what is that actually? In case of spike time dependent plasticity, what happens? You are just adjusting the pre and post this electrical pulses. Based on that, you are identifying that. So how much time you are providing? So say suppose here you are providing a depression pulse, as you can see here, this one, and this is at delta t0. There is no time difference. Okay, then after that you have again you started potentiation. So there is no difference between pre-spike and post-spike. Okay, so just after pre-spike you have started given post-spike. So in that case you can see there is a change in the conductance value, and then we can tune it. But what happens when we were able to produce some kind of a delay further, or delay is just prior to that pre and post, I would say. So what happens here? The device, it is showing, as you can see, at this particular level the same phenomena as compared to, with respect to depression and potentiation. The only thing is that you can have a better control. And you can easily tune at particular state. So the synaptic weight change in plotted as a function of relative time of pre and post spike, and the pulse scheme used to implement STDP with PCM cell. So this is the pulse. So for that, the thing is that you need to experimentally optimize the electrical pulse using your waveform generator or parameter analyzer with respect to the pulse weights and magnitude. So probably for experimental things, when we are able to fabricate the device, then we need to optimize our electrical pulse using parameter analyzer or arbitrary waveform generator, and then we can study the conductance change, and then we can identify this behavior. And spike time dependent plasticity, if we see for different time constants, so modulation of STDP time constant and dependence on number of pre and post spike numbers. So as here it is tested, and they were trying to calibrate. So it is measured on PCM synapse by modifying the spacing and amplitude of the pulse in the pre-spike for different potentiation 1, 2, and 3 correspond to 3 different pre-spike configuration. And then further, the depression also it has tested correspond to 3 different pre-spike configuration for long-term depression. So the time constant modulation of this curve with a spike time delay in the range of around 1000 milliseconds. It means the time which they have tested for this in between for this STDP curve, which is in 1000 millisecond, and for potentiation actually, and for depression it is comparatively less time. So it is experimental result actually which is published in this particular work. So just I'm showing to you how this PCM device is mimic when you are providing a systematically electric pulse to see these behavior. And if we try to identify synaptic weight change as a function of number of applied pre and post spike pairs, which is shown here. So as you can see that the number of pre and post spike number, the synaptic weight is gradually increasing, and for different this time values, it is, you can see that it is gradually decreasing from 10 millisecond to 45 millisecond. So the thing is that for 10 millisecond, which is the higher side, the time it is to settle down or time taking it is more compared to. That's why the change in conductance we can see it is higher side. So here the conductance change and set pulse amplitude which could be identified here. So the conductance change of GST cell is plotted as a function of set voltage amplitude for 10 and 100 spike pairs. So here we can see this set pulse amplitude which is varying from 0.6 to 0.9. So set pulse means when we are making our device crystallize. Okay, crystallization when we are doing. So at the time of crystallization, as we can see that the varying of this amplitude, and for 120 spike time, we can see the conductance change of percentage. So what happens when you have provided this less number of spike pairs? So we can identify the change, little bit change compared to the more number of spike pairs. So why this happens? Because as you provide more number of pulses, so it get trained, okay, more data, okay, and in that way you can get a systematically performance in terms of. So it is similar. More you have data, more you can train in this direction our device. So this is the way by which we can correlate our experimental work. So further some more application in that direction. So actually I'm not working in that direction, but I'm just telling you, all of you, you can further explore this device in that direction for AI application and all. Why do we need a new computing architecture? So as we can probably you all are studying about this computation in artificial neural network, where we can see that you have an input layer and then output layer. Probably you have studied the basics of artificial neural network, where we can see about these are some hidden layers, and then based on this weight you can identify these operations in artificial neural network, and you can get the proper output based on that. So here the key operation is multiply and accumulate. This is MAC operation. This is very, very important in case of if you have done earlier this artificial neural network based things. So this complete artificial neuromorphic thing you can create using your PCM device. Okay, how you can do that? The conductance which I have discussed, okay, of each device, each array, we have multiple devices we have, and each device is having their own conductance. So that weight of each device you can use as this weight as this conductance level, as you can see, and then you can perform, you can decide, you can make this device for novel architecture for AI application. It could be done. Okay, I'm exactly not doing on this level, but it can be used, and people have already reported these works, as these papers, as you can see that they have reported. So further application we can take further. These applications we can take further in new directions, where the upcoming demand of your artificial intelligence network, deep learning, machine learning, where we need quick decisions, fast decision we required. So we can design this kind of register network. So key ideas in analog neuromorphic hardware, where we can design this register network. So the physics of Ohm's law and Kirchhoff law, current law, allow the implementation of analog MAC operation in parallel. Okay, so this neural network, the way operation we are doing based on this. So here the Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's current law, it will allow to mimic our device to perform the new artificial neural network performance. So this is the published result in by IBM in this 2018, where what they have done, they have fabricated the device, as you can see. Okay, so this array, so if we just go back, I'll just go back. So here you can see this is resistance. You can see this resistance. This register is what? It is a variable register. Variable register means your device, your PCM device. So your PCM device is what? It's a variable register which you can tune as per your requirement. So this is a variable register or variable conductance. So what they have done, they have fabricated, they have designed this memory array where each memory cell, it could be identified as a different conductance level, and then they can mimic this computational operation with respect to this matrix vector multiplication using PCM device. And they have tested this blue color data of PCM chip AX equals to B of this matrix vector performance of this device. It is well matched with 4x4 bit fixed point method. Okay, so the thing is that, yes, our device is having, for a small level, if you are able to design a proper neuromorphic hardware based on that, it could be done. So some people are working on this direction. So I can discuss with you if you have more interest. I can refer you some articles on that, so you can do. I have not started work in this direction, but yeah, for our PCM device where we are working, so this is the potential application. You can design hardware in that direction, and you can mimic such kind of, for image processing and some advanced application. You can design hardware based things where you can connect multiple Arduinos and one chip of PCM based chip, and you have a controller, and then you can design system things. It is very fast. So this could be done. So the accuracy of computation with PCM is comparable to that of a fixed point digital. Okay, so this is the comparable with this method. So it is showing us the property for novel architecture for AI application. So yes, this is another application. So probably this fancy words you aware about, this deep learning and all. So this is more or less, it's a hardware oriented thing. So just I am giving you a brief idea about this. So this you can further take off, people who are interested in that direction. So these devices you can use for some deep learning applications also, where PCM hardware can be enabled in that direction. So as you can see here, this is 784 input neurons, and then hidden layers, and then this output neurons is there. So here this is the expected image class, and here some your images there. So you can decide, okay, what is that? So this is kind of a deep learning. So the network used for the task is shown in the figure here, which has two fully connected weight layers, and then it is deciding in which way you can identify something. So the input layer neurons are linear, hidden layer, and the output layer perform a logistic function of their input. So this is the hidden layer. It is what? It is the weight. It is already stored weight, and then it is comparing. You people are probably heard about these terms, and some of them already, if I talk about this BTech people, so you probably are doing some your project on this neural network and on deep learning, machine learning based things. So this is okay, this is the algorithm based. But if you want to design any hardware based on that, so you can take further on this. It is still in the research phase, and it is a novel idea where you can take any chip based on this device, and you can connect with your controller, and you can design those aspects, and you can take and you can decide some image is there, and just you want to decide what kind of image it is. It can be performed that. So this is a simple example of deep learning, and you can take further. So what happens here? So some forward interference is there, then back propagation, and synaptic weight update is there. So this is the fundamental of deep learning aspect of this, where the neuron response are often termed as their activation. So their neuron response is termed as their activation, and the training is performed using the back propagation algorithm. So the training means how fast you can do that. Okay, the training of this. So this is using this back propagation and adaptation of gradient descent for multi-layer ANNS. So the first stage of training, known as forward propagation, and involves presenting the image pixel at the input layer and the determining the output layer response. So here first is your input, okay, and this is the training one, and this is the weight update. Okay, so this is the basic fundamental. I am telling you, people who are interested in that direction. So this chalcogenide based phase change memory, you can think in that direction also. This is having, long, it's a huge application in AI and in that direction. So people who are working on hardware side, they can think about this. And this chip architecture for deep learning, this you can see, this is proposed by in Nature paper in 2080, where they have designed this NVM array the way I am telling you, and they have proposed this architecture. This is the chip, and this chip which I was talking about you. So this chip they have used for same application, where you have a support circuitry and share circuitry, and they have connected with some kind of a controller and some input based thing, and then they have designed these aspects of deep learning. So this is proposed in 20, very recently. So you may think that what is new in this? Yeah, what is new in you are also doing artificial neural networking, deep learning, machine learning. What is new in that? The new thing is that the response is very fast. If you compare with our previous architecture which is already available, if we are able to design our hardware based on this emerging memory, so your response is very fast, your energy is also very less, okay, and you can design an efficient system. Okay, it is still people are working on that direction. So small sizes, like if you talk about this, so the size is not mentioned here, so you can refer this paper and you can go through more on this. This is very interesting paper where they have discussed about chip architecture for deep learning methods. So where we can see this circuitry and this fundamental of this NVM array. So presently, flash based array are there, flash MOS based memory, so that people are using, and then they are doing on that. So based on NVM array, it is very new. It is very new. So this is the overall thing related to with that. So one fundamental thing which is very important when we are talking about a PCM device. So yes, everything is having some pros and cons. So yes, we need to figure out these things also. So that drift, which I already spoke about, the drift is very crucial. So this is the very important problem for material scientists. You can design a material. You can design a material which is having a very low drift. It is very stable upon time. There is very less difference, so that conductance or resistance level, it may not get shifted at particular level. So if we are able to reduce this temporal fluctuation of resistance from spontaneous structural relaxation, this is the actually issue. You can refer this structural relaxation of the amorphous phase. So you can see mostly it is in the amorphous phase. So this kind of a structural relaxation taking place there. Due to that, you have fixed your bit at 10 mega ohm. After 10 days, it reached into 100 mega ohm. Okay, so it should not happen. Okay, so you should have a control. You can make some stable. There is work on that in that direction. You can refer those things. And cycle to cycle randomness. Cycle to cycle randomness means here you can see here for multiple cycle, initially the data is very smooth, but after some time when going for higher number of pulse, so lots of noise you can see. It means multiple time when you do reset, read write. So yeah, so there is some kind of a noise is there, some kind of a randomness arises. So this we need to figure out, and this, if we are able to figure out this, so this is the basic problem, fundamental problem from material side. So from material we can design some stable material so that we can reduce this problem and we can optimize further our algorithm. So due to the inherent stochasticity associated with the crystallization process, we need to figure out cycle to cycle randomness to identify these issues. So with this, just I will conclude my talk. So here, BrainSpark computing scheme is promising technology to overcome this von Neumann architecture in AI computing. And phase change memory device, one of the mature non-volatile memory technology, can achieve significantly high performance compared to conventional computation with multi-conductance level and accumulative behavior. Accumulative behavior is what? Where systematically you were giving pulse and this conductance were accumulating. So that material is showing that property. And computational memory, in-memory computing, near-memory computing are novel approaches to mitigate this von Neumann bottleneck. As I told you in the earlier, von Neumann bottleneck we can remove, we can identify this. Okay, so you all are having a brain, but you people are not thinking. So you all are having brain. So how your brain is working, if you are able to identify, then definitely you will solve this bottleneck. Okay, so just think. And these massively parallel computing unit with PCMs can perform in application of, yes, advanced application, this deep learning, deep neural network, spiking neural network. I'm not the expert of this area, but just I'm telling all of you, we can explore further. We can explore further in these application, in this direction, our device. But there are challenges toward the adaptation of this PCM based computing system in future. AI hardware like this conductance fluctuation, which I already discussed with you, and non-linearity and non-symmetrically, and this novel learning algorithm we need to design so that we will be able to perform these things. So the now leading manufacturer or semiconductor manufacturer are working in this direction, say IBM Research Zurich, they are working on that. Some ST Microelectronics people also, they are working, Intel. So they are working to design such a hardware in that direction so that the demand of artificial neural network or intelligence can be fulfilled. Okay, so with this, just I'll stop. I can take a questions from your side. If you can have anything. Yeah.
Sir, in slide 17, you were discussing about the random. So, how do we mitigate the randomness when we take it from a material perspective? Because when we take the application of such what we have discussed in
Yes,
this lecture, so randomness is not, encouraged. So how do we do it? How do we mitigate those problems?
Yeah, actually, as I told you, this thing is related with more or less, structural relaxation in this amorphous phase. So if we are somehow, if we are able to figure out a suitable composition or some kind of, if we are able to perform a material engineering, and we can do a rigorous experiment on that, and we can identify stable resistance state for a longer time, then definitely we can mitigate with this problem, and we can remove this issue.
So one thing you're saying is changing the material.
Yes, I mean,
we are moving to some other material.
yes, we can. Yeah, I mean, see, still this technology still it is in a research phase, or along with some other non-volatile memory. If you talk about like if I talk about MRAM, if I talk about ferroelectric memories. So still, if you talk about PCM also, so this is research is already going on. People are doing research. They are doing on different composition, and they are concluding, okay, this is the very stable material, thermally stable material, and less drift is there. So when you are coming into the finally product level, this is very essential, because if we are able to making any device and if it is not providing a stable drift, so that's why this is very important. Industry is looking into this aspect actually.
Before we go ahead with performing this kind of hardware, we just need to take a look into the material.
Yes, exactly. Yes, stable composition is very essential. It is required.
So what are these stable compositions right now in literature?
Yeah, I have identified, if we talk about PCM, so other than GST, industry people, they have reported with some kind of doping of inert gases. I have seen some, they are doping with nitrogen doped or something. They are doing on that direction. Some people also doing germanium rich material also, they are doing on that direction. And some architecture based also, they are doing some kind of different heterostructure based thing. They are introducing some kind of layer on that. So there are multiple research, you can identify. So we need to figure out, and we need to give solution on that. It is a research. We need to identify. Yeah. So these are the things which I have done through my literature. I'm not sure you can also make literature in that direction. Yeah, yeah. Anything else? Yeah, please.
So in one of your paper, like for the study for potentiation and depression, so you have given pulses, like pulses of varying height to give the to give a understanding of the potentiation.
Mhm.
You have given amplitude increasing in amplitude and all. For
Mm.
depression again, you have given trends of pulses which is decreasing in amplitude. So can you throw more light into it?
Mm, mhm, mhm.
Like for how do you go about studying a PCM device for in terms of its synaptic behaviors as a potentiation or depression?
Okay, okay. So see, potentiation, depression, this term you can refer as in our memory set and reset operation. Simply, if you are able to properly identify set and reset operation, then you can do this. So in case of potentiation, what you are doing, you can, what you have seen earlier, the conductance is increase or decrease. If you refer that paper, it is conductance is increasing, conductance is increasing means resistance is decreasing, resistance is decreasing, it means this is a set operation. Understood? So now if we are able to identify now this is a set operation, so now we need to understand a suitable programming technique. So for set operation, I told you, you should provide a electrical pulse having a lower amplitude but having more time. Okay, so you just fix one pulse and systematically you just provide those pulse, either increasing of amplitude, increase, you just increase an amplitude, then you can you can see the change in terms of increasing in conductance. So in that case, if you refer that work, so there the duration of pulse is higher side. Why? Because we need to set our device. So it's a potentiation. Potentiation means just you are tuning. Okay. On another hand, if we talk about a depression, so in depression, what you have seen, the conductance is getting decrease, means resistance is increased. It means your device is getting a more amorphous side, amorphize. Okay. So for amorphous process or reset operation, we required a relatively lower pulse width in the order of nanosecond. So if we are able to provide electrical pulse in the order of some narrow pulse which can reset our device, so in that way you can depress your. So in first figure I have shown you, in the array, I can possibly show you here. So yes, here you can see what is here, the cross section of depressed mushroom shaped region shown in red. So here, where you can see the red, only this. So depressed means reset. Reset means region is amorphous. Okay. So depressed pulse is relatively, lower in width, lower in width, so that you can provide and you can get a amorphous region inside. Okay. So it's, if you are first you if you are able to properly understand the principle of phase change memory, proper programming techniques, set reset operation, then systematically you can tune your state for neuromorphic application. Okay, this is the one level ahead. That's it. We can discuss more on, if you have, I can discuss with you. Huh?
So and how do you do all this endurance study, like cycles of different, like
Mhm.
you are saying that in PCM it has this much cycle,
Haha.
it can have like those kind of studies, how it is performed in a PCM device,
Mhm.
like
So
retentivity, endurance, all resistance, drift, if you can throw more light into it.
yeah, for endurance, you should have a proper programming technique. So after making this depress and potentiation electrical pulse, you need to provide, you need to read the state of PCM device, and for particular time, say suppose 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, you need to test those. And if you are able to see that those conductance state are continuously constant, or it is, what is the variation in between, maybe you will get some noise, but there is error bar. Understood? If in one cycle you are getting your resistance state or conductor at resistive state at 1 mega ohm, maybe in another case you may get in 2 mega ohm or 5 mega ohm. In other case, maybe you will get 900 kilo ohm. But on an average, you can you make a Gaussian fit, and you can say that okay, this is the constant value at particular level. So you need, for endurance, you need to provide yourself for particular time this with same set and reset pulse, and you need to test with read operation. Okay, in that, so for that, this is purely experimental work. You need to first understand about the experimental setup, I would say. It is not like that you are taking your material and simply first understand the scheme, the experimental setup. Electrical setups are very very crucial to understand. Say suppose parameter analyzer, this semiconductor parameter analyzer, you can easily understand about how you can provide the pulse. If you are able to have, if you are having a pulse generator, then also you can easily understand these aspects, and then you can easily design your algorithm. Okay.
Sir, I have another follow-up.
Yes, yes,
So,
please.
Just wanted to understand, like, if we're using this PCM devices in neuromorphic, like computing and other architectures, like what we have seen in the slides. So how are we dealing with the heating issue? Like, it might alter the properties of the device if it runs for longer duration, because it computes millions and millions and terabytes of operations.
Right.
So how are we going to deal with that?
Uh-huh. So see, obviously here due to joule heat, that state is getting changed.
Right.
So in that case, you need to properly optimize device engineering. So device engineering means there are in an array multiple cells are there. So you need to properly insulate one cell in such a way that it should not affect. So heat should be confined.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So there is a multiple cells are there. So there is work on that. It's a kind of a crosstalk.
Yeah.
It should not be crosstalk, should not be there. You are operating in one cell, and due to that heat, another cell will get affected. No, it should not happen.
Because
So,
that's an array, so crosstalk will obviously impact.
exactly.
Yes, right.
So for that, you need to properly insulate one cell. Proper device
Uh-huh.
engineering in such a way that it should not affect another.
So what if the heat damages the properties of the device? Like, we are changing the like from amorphous to crystalline. So will it alter the molecular structure of the, like, what do we call, like, the PCM device?
Uh-huh.
If there is a like humongous amount of heat generated
Uh-huh.
by the operation, how do we deal with that?
See, this heat, it could not be randomly, it could be generated in that level. There must be optimization.
Uh-huh.
Up to reset operation, how much temperature will be generated inside the cell, and for reset. So accordingly, you will fabricate.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. It is not like that randomly it may generate any temperature. No. In initial phase optimization, you know that when I will do reset operation, so maximum temperature inside cell, it is in
This
in
much
that
range.
order.
Okay.
So accordingly, you will decide your material and you design everything. It is not like that
Right.
simply the processor which you are using in your laptop, it is well tested.
Right.
Each and every parameter people are knowing about this. So similarly, when you commercialize this material, so everything should be calibrated, then only.
So you mean to say we need to get the specs first, and then according to that, we
Exactly.
decide the material and
Material.
take it back to the
Yes,
application,
yes,
right?
that's why
what you're saying.
yes, yes, material is very important.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Sir, actually, I'm curious about this neuromorphic kind of part. I'm also a beginner to this area.
Yes, yes.
Sir, I want to know about if we are preparing this kind of devices in our lab, it's fine. But if we are going in industrial kind of application, so it will be more costly. Like if we are thinking like we need to optimize nano-sized devices and this clean room setups.
Yes,
If we are
yes.
going behind industrial kind of application, how much it will be cost? Like
Mhm.
I'm curious about to know even the germanium kind of metals also scare in this era.
Uh-huh.
How it will be look like, I don't know actually.
Uh-huh.
Is it meet our cost concepts or like?
Uh-huh. I mean, you are talking about if you are able to take further.
Yeah,
Uh,
in large scale application.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
So it will be more costly. I'm asking. I don't know actually.
No. It is not. See, First thing is that the technology should be CMOS compatible. So yes, we have seen phase change material CMOS compatible. First thing is it is cross checked. Okay. And now we have seen there is a scaling property is also very good for this material. Okay. Now it's your duty to understand the neuromorphic property. Okay. Now you need to check the conductance level, the conductance property, how it is changing. You need to generate algorithms. Like I have said, accumulatum property. You can refer that JAP paper which I have shown. They have systematically designed. Okay, so we have those chip. See, we have already designed those chips. Now we need to, in case of neuromorphic, most important thing is that how you are understanding about the algorithms, how you are understanding the programming scheme. Up to that, who are working on non-volatile memory domain, they have done everything. They have optimized the material, they have optimized the switching, they have optimized the set reset operation. Now when we are moving one step ahead, so now you need to identify algorithms in case of neuromorphic. Simply you can show, if you are working on that direction for your material in lab level, you can easily show potentiation, depression. You can this STDP learning method you can do that, and you can show that the potential of your material, you can do that. But it is not like that for commercializing. If we, so it is costly. No, same flash memory, same NVM memory which we are using now, it's our responsibility to understand more about the algorithms, how we can tune each state, how we can program, how we can generate, and then we can take for this neural network. So neuromorphic computing is without this it is not complete. You need to provide an application, proper this one. So we are doing, as I am also not done in that level, just I have shown this potentiation and in this programming part. But yes, in that level we need to figure out this. Okay, so I think we should stop here. So we will meet after this break at 3 p.m. So if you have any doubts, so we can discuss later on also. I am here around here, and Dr. Andrew is also here. So you just discuss, and if you have any doubt, please let me know. Okay, so with this, just we'll stop our session here, and we will meet after the break. Thank you.